Let's talk Safari Armax snorkels for the 200s. I've seen a lot of people ask about this, and I set out to try and find the problem with mine, because mine had the exact same issue as what people are talking about. And you're probably like, oh, you're going to be talking about dusting. Nah. I'm not talking about dusting. What I'm talking about is, if you've had a Safari Armax snorkel installed on your car, whether you did it or someone else, and you hit about 1200 RPM, it gets this real hum to it, like really bad. Like you'd feel it in the footwell and all that sort of stuff. It's like this, and you're like, fucking hell, like this is really loud. I'm going to show you what the problem is. So this is my lower airbox. It's in a real bad state because that was siliconed, and yeah, it was bad. It was pretty much a throw out and redo. If you will have a look in the end here, you will notice that has been cut out. See how it's all been cut out? Right. Mine's been humming that bad that it actually started to crack on the top. Right. If you look on the end here, it's got a high clone, or pre-spinner, high clone, whatever you want to go with. That was my tester, because I started coming to the conclusion that this is what might have been causing the issue. All right, so how I initially had this airbox set up was I followed Safari's installation instructions for the Safari Armax Snorkle to a T. And immediately after installing the snorkel, I noticed that there was a obnoxious hum. And I'm like, I don't like this. Anyway, I thought it might settle down, whatever. Could be the snorkel itself. I have heard of other people, discussing with me that they had the same issue, that they're noisy, this and that. And other people were saying, no, we didn't have an issue. So I started doing a little bit of research. And the one thing that everyone who didn't have the issue had was their airbox. Let's go down here. This is a shitty aftermarket one. I found the cheapest aftermarket complete airbox I could find online. Do not buy this, and I'm going to probably do a video on why you shouldn't buy a shitty aftermarket airbox for your car. Anyway, I was always planning to get the Toyota one, but I needed to figure out if the high clone was the issue or not. Anyway, you piss this off. Put this down here. If you look in this one, which doesn't come with a drain or anything, if you look in here, it's got this piece, right? It's still intact. And if you look in the other end, through here, which is very poorly done, like all the swarf and all that sort of crap, that it goes down to your drain and captures all your water and debris and things along those lines, mostly moisture and water from the pre-spinner. It spins it out and throws it down in here. Right, if you notice on this one, it's cut out, because what Safari tell you to do, if you follow the instructions to a T, they give you the option of sealing up the drain, which is pretty dark at the moment, but sealing up the drain and sealing up the little hole here, which I did both. I wanted, I'm getting a snorkel, I want the airbox to be as watertight as possible. They tell you to take the high clone out, which normally clips in. They tell you to cut the fins off it and then silicone that little piece in, which I do have that little piece. It's up here. This is a little piece, all right, with silicone still all over it. And I cleaned it up. It looked pretty good. Anyway. So it's a straight through, I don't know the diameter, but I'm assuming probably 4 inches, right? To give you the maximum amount of flow. Does it give you more power doing it that way? You actually do get a little bit more power, but it's, in all honesty, the humming alone, it's not worth a little power increase you get unless you do a tune or whatever. So I noticed that. So the first thing I thought is, I reckon it's that pre-spinner. So I ended up sourcing, this is years later, mind you, ended up sourcing a crappy airbox, waited for them to come down in price, got the high clone out of this, because there's no way in hell I was putting this into my car at all. As you can tell, there's no way I was putting this in my car. None. These things have a dusting issue as they are, let alone putting that crap in. So I pulled the high cone out of this, stuck it into my original airbox just to see if it would take the humming noise down. And it did, substantially. It was like driving a new car. I was like, holy crap. Okay, you get a real loud induction noise through the Snorkle, but I don't care about induction noise. It was the humming and the reverberation through the footwell that was really pissing me off. So did that. Then I drove another Landcruiser that had standard airbox, standard setup. Drove that, and I'm like, okay, I could probably get a little bit better than what I've got at the moment. So I ordered a new lower airbox from Toyota and the drain plug, which they tell you that the drain plug doesn't come in the airbox. It does. So I've got a drain plug, spare drain plug. But anyway, left that as standard, pulled the little weather stripping foam off because that won't fit in your Armax little snorkel thing, your silicone hose. Slide that in, reinstalled it, did a thin smear of silicone around here, let the airbox sit, took it for a drive. Completely new car. The solution is, it's fixed. It has no hum, nothing. And it, believe it or not, runs a lot better too. So I'd notice on cold days it'd run a bit average. And like not average, like it wasn't low on power or anything like that. It just, yeah, just harsh when it was just idling. It had a real reverberation through the car, which is now gone. Anyway, this is the solution. Do not, if you have already followed the instructions or you've had your Safari Armax Snorkle installed and you lift your airbox up, just lift the top air lid up, top of the lid up, have a look in there. If it's got the hole like that, or if you can see down, just get a torch, shine it down the top of your snorkel so you have the light transmissioning through, and then just have a look in the end. If your high cone's gone and that's cut out, replace the lower airbox, put a new lower airbox in it, and that will solve your humming issue. So yeah, I hope this helped you out, guys. Like I said, I've seen a lot of videos on this, and it's not just the 200 as well. I've seen it with Tritons, BT50s, Ford Rangers. A lot of people have the issue when they have an Armax Snorkle installed. And my bet is what they're doing is they're removing the high clones out and they're removing the moisture drains out of them and sealing them off, and that is what's causing the issue. Or it's incorrectly installed. If obviously you've got no play and no give, then like the airbox is hard into the snorkel and it's real vibrating and all that sort of stuff. That can cause the issue, but this wasn't this. This was 1200 RPM on the dot every time, without a doubt. If it was sitting in that RPM, which, as you know, with the Landcruisers, doing about 55, 60 kilometers an hour, if you're in traffic, it sits in that RPM range, and it is so annoying. Oh, quickly, I thought I would add this into it as well. With aftermarket stainless steel airboxes, whatever, if you've got the hum, then I don't know what the solution is for that. I honestly don't. I haven't had an aftermarket airbox installed in my car. It may be something that gets put in down the track, but it isn't really on the cards at this point in time. I run a uni filter, and since putting a uni filter in, I've not had any dust at all bypass the air filter or go through the element or anything along those lines. So I'm happy with that solution. I'm going to probably stick with that for a long while until such time I want to change it out, but I'm happy with that. And yeah. Alright guys, take care.